Hello friend, my name is Kiri, and long ago I reviewed the Naruto Chunin arc, and you guys seem to like it well enough. A couple people asked me to review the entire series, so that's what I'm doing, and today we are going to be tackling the next arc. This is the part of the story where Naruto becomes a full-fledged apprentice under Jiraiya, learning the powerful Rasengan, which is essentially a violent spinning ball of chakra. While training with Jiraiya, they are also on the hunt for Tsunade, one of the 3 legendary Sannin, who has been chosen to become the 5th Hokage after the death of the 3rd. But little do they know is that Sasuke Uchiha's older brother, Itachi, is after Naruto, seeking the power of the 9-tailed fox that lives within him. Sasuke learns of this and fights him to save Naruto, but of course, Sasuke gets his ass beat, and he realizes that even though he has been spending the last 10 years training to kill his brother, he is still not strong enough, so he finally takes Orochimaru up on his offer and leaves the village to join him. Just like with the last arc, the openings changed multiple times, and I loved each one of them. Each video was appropriate to the current mood and atmosphere of the story, and the songs were just so good. No Boy No Cry by Stance Punks, Go by Flo, and Youth's Rhapsody were just, I really like the songs. I cannot praise them enough. They all fit the series so well. I don't think I've actually disliked any opening in Naruto so far. Unlike the openings, most of the closings were pretty bad. The first ending had this super shitty song with a really boring video of just Naruto standing on a rooftop. The fourth ending had this really whiny sounding song that had this weird ass psychedelic video, and the fifth was just plain and uninteresting. The second ending though had an amazing song, and I really loved the video because it showed a really strong sense of unity with the group. That one was definitely my favorite. The, I think, third ending, I also did kind of like that mostly because I liked the watercolor progression thing with the painting, and I liked being able to see the female ninja in a very casual setting on the beach, though if we're honest, it was really out of place and it didn't make a whole lot of sense being there. So a lot of stuff happens in this arc, and I know that my summary makes it seem like a whole lot happened all at once, but remember that this is spread out over the course of a lot of episodes. A lot. I don't remember how many exactly, and I should probably figure that out before I get this uploaded. Anyways, there's a major change in pace where things significantly slow down after the Sand and Sound Ninja attack on the Leaf Village, which I know a lot of people didn't like, but there's something you have to remember. If an anime is doing a whole bunch of stuff all at once, if it's very fast paced, if they're running goalpost to goalpost, you're going to get burned out. The viewer needs a break, and that's what a lot of this arc is just slowing things down so we can catch our breath before getting into all the cool shit again. Not only that, but the handful of episodes featuring the Rain Village race remind us that there are things happening in this world other than just what's happening in the big main events. But this is the part of the story where we learn a lot about the more minor characters. We get a much more in-depth look at the relationship the Uchiha brothers had before Itachi murdered the clan. We get to learn more about Orochimaru and the 3 legendary Sannin. We also get to see Sasuke get knocked down a peg, which I thought was a really good idea because the series had been slowly building him up, and seeing him get totally wrecked by Itachi and lose to Naruto in a display of power reminds us that he's not this all-powerful kid like he thinks he is. At the same time, we get to see just how much the minor characters have progressed in their own powers. We get to see how powerful they really are as they fight the Sound Ninja 5. Something I praised the creators for in my previous review was how well they balanced all of the characters out, and that's still something that shines true by this point. Each character felt legitimately important to the story, and being able to learn how their minds work and seeing how powerful they really are was something I heavily appreciated, but so many feels. I may have cried a couple times. Though I will admit I was pretty disappointed that Sakura played little to no part in this arc, because you guys know, she's my favorite character. She's already proven herself to be a very strong kunoichi, but in this arc, she was either completely swept under the rug or she was portrayed as a damsel in distress, which got under my skin a little. A lot. There's not a whole lot I can comment on in the visuals department because just about everything I said in my last review is still applicable to what's going on now. There were some improvements made to the animation as the series progressed and as the animators improved in skill, which, if you remember in my last review, I did say that the anime started out with really jittery animation, but they steadily improved on it, and as we can see, they're still improving on it. Other than that, some of the minor design issues I had, such as the uneven lines, were fixed, but remember when I mentioned how some of the scenes felt really lazily drawn? When I was writing this review, I was praising them for finally fixing that issue, and then the biggest part of the entire arc, the Naruto versus Sasuke fight, was completely ruined. There were a lot of parts that were so stupid and shittily drawn that, in all honesty, I was genuinely disappointed in the creators as people. This is a very important fight, something that drastically changes the story, so why would you choose this part out of the entire arc to start cutting corners? You hurt me, Studio Piero. It hurts. And why does no one bleed? Has anyone ever noticed that? Like, they get punched into walls, they get punched through walls, they run into cliffs, they get punched straight in the face, but no one ever actually seems to start bleeding until they actually, get blatantly stabbed by something. I do have to admit, I really like some of the costume changes, like Sasuke finally getting out of that stupid-ass onesie, and Gaara's suit turning from black to red. The curse mark phases were pretty cool too, though I wish they emphasized a little more on what the different curse marks did. They mentioned very briefly that Anko and Sasuke have a heaven curse mark, whereas Kimimaro has an earth curse mark, but there were 4 other curse marks between the Sound Ninja 5, and they all had different designs. They made them look different when they were in their second phase, but they don't really explain why, and I kind of wish that they did, because I just want to know if they actually enhance their powers at all, or if they're just purely cosmetic, which I really doubt. So while this wasn't my favorite arc in Naruto, I still really did enjoy what this part brought us. I did skip the filler episodes at the end because I don't really consider them to be a true part of the story. But other than that, I loved the voice acting, I loved the music, I loved the designs, I liked just about everything, except for those really stupid shortcuts taken in the Naruto vs. Sasuke fight that really got under my skin. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Naruto's Sasuke is a fucking asshole arc. Have you seen it? Are you as special as Sasuke is?
Unfortunately, you're not quite as special as I am.
Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, you can find all of my social media as well as my Patreon in the description. Happy unbirthday, and I will see you later. Bye! As these horrible creatures that need to die so the villagers can live. But that was only because we were seeing the story from the perspective of the teenagers that were being attacked and the desperate doctor that was doing everything he could to save half an hour. She comes in for a few minutes at a time, just long enough to say something mean and sassy before turning on her stilettos and strutting out of the room. To be honest, the only real antagonist that felt real and believable was the director's